Alright guys, what do we got here? We got some gear wrench goodies. I am about to load up the car with all of Andrew Coleman's, which is the first winner of the gear wrench giveaway. $1,000 worth of tools right here. Really cool little package. On top of that, you see some stuff over here. Gear wrench little tote bag that I'm gonna bring with me. This is the one I always bring to the dyno or racetrack now, ever since I got it. It's a super handy little thing. This is not for Andrew, and neither is this wing light setup, but I figured I'm gonna bring it. What's happening is, I have a funny story. We're loading everything in the Prius and we're driving up there to Woodland. It's near Sacramento, where Andrew lives. We have a journey ahead of us, but the funny thing is, I thought that Andrew lived in Woodland Hills, which is like Thousand Oaks area. It's, you know, maybe 2 hours from where I live. He never told me his address or anything, but he just like had told me he lived in Woodland, and for some reason my mind thought Woodland Hills. And I'm like, yeah, we'll come up there, we'll be there this day, which was like, I think it was gonna be a Wednesday, like a week and a half ago. And it turns out that when he finally sent me an address, I clicked on it, it's like a 6.5 hour at best drive, more like a 7-hour drive, and I'm like, so then we had to cancel. So now this is our second attempt, but we're heading up. Gonna go there, be there, stay in a hotel tonight because it's a 6-hour drive, and we still were working a little bit today. Then we can work on his car with him tomorrow. So let's go make this journey, guys. All right, guys, we're about the halfway point, maybe like 2 hours away. There's a little bit of traffic. We're just driving. Got all the tools in the back. But this is gonna be an exciting thing tomorrow. I'm excited because it's like brings me back to when I first started working on cars, when it was just not at the shop but at my house. We're gonna do a pretty big job on this car, I think, so more to come, guys. But we're heading up there. We're just at we had to refill once, get some candy, you know. These are pretty good. Skittles dark side ones. All right, we gotta keep driving. Talk to you later.
See you guys.
Good morning, guys. We made it. We're here in Woodland, California. Today we get to do our first garage visit for the Gear Wrenches Rad tool giveaway. Let's go meet our first winner, guys. Ring the doorbell. What's up? What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey,
oh my god.
This is Andrew, and congratulations.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
This is exciting.
And you got me a
Been waiting to do this garage.
I've been wanting one of these too for a while.
So cut your hair into a mullet.
Oh my god.
Alright, congratulations. This is Andrew Coleman. He lives in Woodland, California. We made it to his house. Check out his submission video.
Hi, my name is Andrew Coleman, and behind me is my 1.5 JZ powered Toyota Cressida. I've had the car for more than 8 years, and when I first bought it, I put in a 1UZ V8 so I could daily it and take it to weekend events. Now I'm trying to make it into more of a dedicated track car and a weekend fun cruiser. I've been working on this version of the car for almost 3 years, and I'm super motivated to get it back on the track this year so I can have fun driving with my friends, meet tons of new people, and make awesome memories with this car. And oh yeah, Gear Wrench is rad.
We were super excited on his enthusiasm and all the in-depth that he told us about his car, and we're really excited to go check it out in his garage and get started working on some stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. That's crazy.
Alright, so let's see what you got in the garage and show us around a little bit.
For sure.
It's tightly squeezed.
I know.
Ooh, it's clean in here, and I see a BMX bike.
Yeah.
Alright, so tell us a little bit about, yourself, how you got into, I want to say bikes, but which cars, tools,
Yeah,
and like your garage and everything.
Yeah, well, I've been in the cars for, I guess, since high school. And drifting just kind of
happened.
Yeah, it just happened like Yeah, as you like cars, you want to do the funnest things with cars. Drifting is where it's at.
Pretty much, you're right about that. What kind of tools have you been working with to like build your car as it sits now?
All my tools are pretty much hand-me-downs. So I have a little bit of gear wrench tools, but they're only just because the things that my dad's bought and then he's given to me and all that other stuff.
Your dad buy you some gear wrench?
Yeah.
That is how I know about gear wrench too. Thank you to the dads.
For sure, thanks dads. Other than that, or when you have a car, like working on cars comes hand in hand, so you're gonna have to have tools.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you get them.
Pretty much, you can't get the job done without the tools.
Yeah.
So
every car's gonna break, so you're gonna have to fix it.
Especially with drifting, you're gonna break it almost every time you drive it.
Yeah, drifting is like the harshest thing you can do to a vehicle.
Okay guys, I got distracted like immediately. We pull up here and he has a FJ80 parked out there. It's a project that's about to get painted maybe. Looks like he's been sanding on it.
Yeah.
That's like a dream vehicle I've always wanted. Didn't know he had that. And then he's got a BMX bike here. A lot of the same hobbies.
For sure.
We kind of just became best friends, you know what I mean?
We went from BMX to cars, and then it's just chaos ever since.
pretty much like how we all are. Under the hood, and then talk a second, and then maybe we'll grab you some gear wrench tools, and you can open those up.
Yeah.
What's under the hood?
Alright, let's check it out.
It's like pretty serious business going on here.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
So it's a 2J NA bottom end.
Okay.
With a 1JZ VPI head.
So how'd that come to be? Like, you didn't have the 1J bottom end?
So I didn't have any of it at first.
And you were piecing together?
I had a friend, he wanted a 1J VVTi swapped into his car, and he was getting rid of the NA 2J, but it was like low miles and everything. I was like, I'll buy it from you. He's like, why don't you do the work and put the motor in, and I'll pay you plus the motor. The old NA 2J.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then I found this on one of the forums I'm on, the JZX projects.
Yeah.
And it was a full 1J motor that was actually in a Ferrari.
What?
It had a crazy adapter plate, so it blew all the bearings because it was just not balanced or anything.
Oh, I was like, yeah.
So I bought it. I bought the whole motor for $500, and all I wanted was the head, so it was perfect.
It's like put the thrust bearings, like pressure on it,
Yeah,
probably, or something like that. Dang, so you're pretty talented, because like this car has like everything pretty much set up properly. You know, did you even do this stuff? Or?
Yeah, all the chassis works.
So you did all this?
Yep, everything's back.
What? That's impressive. So you're very hands-on. What are we planning to do today?
Today, it's not a very small job like I said it was going to be, but the one thing, because I was rushed when I was building this motor, because we were moving, it was like, started building it like 3 years ago, so we're moving back up here, when I originally lived in Southern California. So the one thing I didn't change were valve guide seals. So now it smokes on startup smokes on revving a little bit.
Okay, so that's pretty deep in here, but we can do it. It sounds like you know what you're doing. I've done that before, and if we have questions, we'll just ask Renee. So.
Oh gosh.
But wait, one thing that I'm like getting sidetracked on, is that still the NA pistons and rods on the bottom, on the NA?
Yeah.
Oh, so it has a high compression 1JZ BVT, that's got, so it spools like boom!
Yeah, it should. And it's a Borg Warner 257 SXE, so it's the billet.
That's cool. Borg Warner. Can't go wrong with a Borg Warner.
Sure. I was so pumped.
Little baby Borg Warner that spools up. Probably could make 400, right?
Yeah, I'm shooting for high 300s, low 400s.
If you do the 85, I'll make 400, I think. I'm guessing. Okay, so I'm gonna get a bunch of tools out, and then we're gonna get to work on this. We gotta get dirty, guys. Okay, guys, I'm like a little kid. I'm addicted to fruit rolls. You found it? There's more here where that came from. Do you want another one? This is my favorite flavor. I think she likes it as much as I do. So good. Fruit rolls. Okay, so we announced the winner #1, which is Andrew, on April 1st, and due to COVID-19, you know, we weren't allowed to travel, we weren't allowed to like do anything during that time, so we couldn't come up here, so there's been a lot of anticipation for this first garage visit and to give him all these tools that he won. So I'm pretty pumped about it, for him to open it and to see what it is that he's getting. I'm sure he's studied a little bit, but now he's get to, you know, use them and on this job today, and he's gonna see him firsthand, and you know, it's gonna be pretty exciting for him and myself, and we get to work on this car. I'm still like in amazement that we're actually doing this. Like, we're traveled up here to work on this car, and it's really cool. The thing I wanted to say is that when Gear Wrench and I came up with the idea to do these giveaways, they said pick the tools that you would want, you know, to give for going to work on the car. And when I started out working on cars, I was 15 in the driveway with whatever my dad had in the toolbox, and I was just trying to think like back to the beginning stages of like when I was 15 to like, you know, early 20s when you know, I didn't have a shop. And this is kind of what I pieced together off of Gear Wrench's catalog. They could be like the kind of overall within the budget that we had to give away that could get like most jobs done, like small, medium, and some large jobs. And I think it's gonna like do exactly what we want, and we're gonna try and see if we can, you know, show you guys a lot of the tools that we're gonna use from this kit here that we put together on the project today. So why don't you open all your stuff, Andrew? You waited long enough.
Oh my god. Amazing.
So then you have like most of what you'll need for most situations.
Yeah.
With the ratcheting wrenches, and that's like,
These are so cute, they're all small.
but those will come in handy so much, and like you like don't know till you have them. Ooh, sound more.
I know.
Good job. The 120 XP, so soon to be your favorite ratchets ever.
I just broke all my half-inch ratchets too.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never once ever broken one of those, but I'm sure it's possible, but using this correct form, you're definitely not gonna break it.
Ooh. Dang.
The thing I like about like this one is it'll like, you can never break anything, it'll get you in like the tight space, and you're just like,
You're always talking about that stuff.
yeah, you're gonna like it. And then this too.
I'm excited. It feels so smooth.
It is, yeah.
It's not like a one you get from like the
No,
junkyard store.
it's like you want like catch or whatever, yeah. It's like super nice ratchet.
What?
So this is, you know,
You just use this whole thing on the project. Dang. Thanks, baby.
so this kit, like, bring it to the racetrack is like your pit box and whatnot. It's like
exactly what I'm using.
pretty much like very versatile setup. And then I was just gonna tell you, do not throw these cardboards away. So like you think, oh, it's just in there for, you know, packaging, but that's really gonna keep like the tolerance so that when it's like bouncing around in your trunk on the way to the track, it
They're not
doesn't
just
fall
flying
out.
out.
Yeah.
Show me all the tips.
Pull it- yeah, and like you could swap which drawer goes where, you know?
They're all the same size.
Yep, and it's like,
That's kind of convenient, so you don't like have to put everything back.
yeah, like if you had them all out and on the ground and you're like fixing like your control arm or whatever and get it back together, you could slide them all back in.
Well, that's like storage, like cool.
Oh yeah, so that's like extra storage. This is like your 3/8 extended or like deep sockets, your normal sockets, and then there's also the other drawer below. It will have like the ratchets, and it will have your, I think, 1/4 inch drive stuff as well. Yep. So you get like 3/8 and 1/4. Pretty much it's like a very well-rounded kit that'll get pretty much every job done.
These are just so nice. I never had like a brand new set of tools, so I'm just like,
Yes. You're gonna love these.
I always buy like one here and there, and it's Harbor Freight or like whatever I get on Craigslist or something.
I'm sure that you'll need more as like projects escalate, but this is gonna get like most of your jobs done.
I'm sure this box is gonna be like junkyard track day. Like,
Oh yeah, because like if you're going to the junkyard and you're like, I don't know which ones to throw in this bag, it's like, now you just take that.
yeah, I have a bag of that. Just throw stuff in. I usually miss stuff out. Like,
That's some of the tools, there's a couple more, but I think we should get started on this project and then we'll show you guys what we use out of what he's got here when we're on the car. First, we're gonna take that hat off. I brought clippers. We're gonna trim the top a little bit. Then I'll have a really epic mullet.
Let's do a fake mullet.
Imagine how mad he'd be. Took me 4 years to grow this length. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so the job that we're gonna do, install these valve stem seals. I already knew before we came what we were gonna do, but we're keeping it a surprise for you guys. That's way down under the cams. We gotta get the springs out, but we can't let the valves drop down in while we're doing that. We have a solution for all that, and we'll kind of show you as we go. We're going deep in this one. We gotta get the timing off, like timing belt. A lot of stuff's happening right now, but I think I've done this before, and I think he has too. So let's do this, guys. Well, he's gonna get ready to loosen the timing so we gotta take the timing belt off. So right now he's kind of prepping to get that tensioner off. Then this front, he'll take the tensioner bracket off, tensioner, and then this front cover. Then he'll take another tensioner you can't see that's under the alternator, so we can release tension on the the timing belt. But first, we'll probably rotate the motor to where we want it to sit while we're doing this job. This comes with your kit.
Really?
Yes, and it's magnetic. So cool. Do you want to test it? Yeah. We're a little deeper than we were a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
We're about halfway done taking stuff off before we can start the job that we're gonna do. What we need to do is get the cams out, get the buckets out, and then we're gonna position the motor at TDC for cylinder 6 and cylinder 1, so that when we put compressed air in there to hold the valves up against the head, like their mating surface against their seats, they'll stay put while we remove the spring to get to the seal, which it's pretty deep in there. It's underneath these buckets that you see in here. Not something that you just jump in and do unless you're confident and ready to do it, I guess, but we could do it, so you'll see. We're gonna keep moving forward.
It's a long time coming. I should have done it when I had the motor out, but I guess better late than never.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make Dan drive up here and do it with me, so I'm here, you know? Perfect.
This probably would have been put off for like another year or two if you didn't come up.
Yeah, I remember I talked to him and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? And he's like, wow. And then he like mentioned, I'm like, let's just do that. And he's like, you sure? I'm like, we could do it. And then he's like, all right, let's do it. We're gonna do it. So I was telling him, you're probably gonna end up using these short wrenches, and then I'm trying to undo this -4 AN line and I can barely get it. I like flip this little short wrench back and forth in this tight area, and I was able to break it loose because it's not very long and interfering with anything. So already came in handy. This guy works quick over here. Usually you just barely roll it. Alright guys, so cams are out and now we're taking the buckets out, because where we need to be is here at the top of the valve where we can get the keepers out, and then retainer, spring, and then under that is where we're gonna find the valve stem seals. We were taking out the cams and we've noticed that there's like an issue with the intake cam. See that little like dent in the head here? And then this here, it like, this is cast, but it like fell off. And then I was like, just mentioning, oh, you can break a cam, I've never seen it happen or whatever, and then this part crumbles off the edge here, and I like see something fall when we take it out and carry it over there, and then I was like, oh great, I think I just did that. But then we started looking at it, and some of it is like jammed in the cam seal, and if you guys can see, there's like polished edges there where there's like, it had like cracked at some point and it was like vibrating metal on metal against each other. So I don't think we did it right now. We found it right now. I really hope I didn't do that, but I don't see how I could create metal transfer shiny parts. We're gonna think about the best solution to make this work, but we just wanted to share with you guys what we found. It seemed to be running. He's thinking it's been this way a little bit because it was like jammed up in the cam seal.
I thought it was probably a days before I got it too.
And it was like running fine, but like see these, that's one of the bits, and then there was a chunk in here he just kind of dislodged, like maybe it was that one or this other little one. It's pretty sad, but we found it, and kind of think it would just run without that. It's not something ideal, but we're gonna be in search of a OEM VVTi 1JZ intake cam.
I mean, it's better out than in.
I think we can find one. We'll decide during right now, after we do these valve stem seals, if we should send it and run it again, or I don't know. It's up to Andrew. It's his car.
I mean, I'll probably just send it. I want to enjoy my car and get it running a little going.
I think, yeah, we probably just will. And if I can find one or he can find one, we'll help him get one. But then,
Any 1J
then you gotta,
guys out there, right?
Yeah.
There's gotta be 1J guys out there that put like some Tote cams in there or like something else. So you gotta sell your stock cams and you haven't yet. Now you know where to like send it or sell it to. All right, guys, we're gonna keep going. And now we're gonna try and put this to TDC. Is it going down right now? Or is that not?
It's not even in there.
We need a
Yeah, I got this.
1/4 inch one. In theory, it's like right here, but sometimes so we need to watch if it goes down. I don't know which way it's gonna want to go, to be honest, but it won't matter if it like runs away either way when you put the air. Hopefully I can like guess that it's gonna go one way and like hold against it, you know, and then we walk it to where we want, and then it'll just stay. If I remember right, the last time I did it, which was about exactly 1 year ago, right before we left for St. Louis last year, I like did the springs on my car. We would like fight with the air. I don't know if we had it exactly at 100, and then so
It's at 100.
it's something around that, but we like got it to just hold where we didn't have to hold this or brace it against anything.
Okay.
So that's what I want to see, if we can like at least sample that and see if we get it. All right, guys, so we did our first valve stem seal right now. We're using the GSC Power Division little kit for both intake and exhaust, and it's for 1J and 2J. We did one, and the first one, as Andrew pulled it out, the little spring on top, I guess it doesn't want to focus that good on it, was missing, and it fell as he was like coming across the motor. It fell down. So it's like the issue, they were leaking and they weren't sealing good, so it's going to be good for when we get them back together, his motor won't smoke. And we've decided we're just going to put that cam back in. We're going to like file a little bit on the edge of the side so it can't grab here as it spins past. Make sure there's no sharp edges. Oh, there you go, you found the spring. So they're kind of blown, which is a good sign. We're just going by hand, taking it out because the stock springs, and we're able to compress it by hand, and we're removing them, and then with a magnet grabbing the keepers. And we're going to do one at a time. So we're on cylinder 6. We'll do both exhaust and intake, which there's 4 valves back there. Then we'll go to cylinder 1 because it's same TDC, and then we'll do like that 3 and 5, 2 and 4, so that we can just do it 3 separate steps, and then we'll be good. All right, guys, got to get back at this and get dirty. Fun begins. It looked like it fell on top here, this area right here, but it's like it slipped. I was like,
I gotta put that back on.
we've been working on it for like 54 hours, and we got cylinder 6, all 4 valves are done. Yeah, valve stem seals complete. Okay, so that was exaggeration, but pretty tough back there. We fought with it a little bit in the very back because there's a lot going on. We're leaning way over because the motor's on the car, but we did accomplish it. We're gonna get a piece of pizza now. Then we're gonna do cylinder 1 through 5, which will be a little bit easier because there's more room. 1 and 6 come up with the crank at the same time, then 2 and 4 and 3 and 5. So like we only have to like set the motor in 3 separate spots to where we can like apply air and it won't try and, you know, rotate the piston.
1 and 6, the pistons are high.
Yeah.
And then 4, so you get 5 on center anyway.
Maybe not everyone knew that, but now you know it. If you want more information, Google it and we'll look at pictures. So we finished all the valve stem seals. Wasn't the quickest job, but we did it right. They're done. Now we gotta reassemble the rest of the motor, get it back together and start it and put the timing on and stuff like that. So then start it. So we're gonna get back on that, but it's a good feeling probably to have it all.
It's a great feeling. That was an ordeal, especially because I had keepers shoot all over the garage.
Yeah, we lost keepers 2 different times, but we found them every time. 3 times. 3 times.
One went and fell.
One like went off. Yeah, it was tough, but we found them all. They're all in there. Everything's good to go. Use little bits of shop towel to block the oil drain bags because there's several oil drain bags, and we don't want a keeper to fall in there. So
I already did.
one keeper fell in there, but we used a magnet and got it out of the oil pan.
Thankfully.
We were determined to move forward and not mess anything up. Little piece-
RTV.
RTV, getting that up. Alright. We're good. He's putting the buckets back in, and then we can put the cams back in and keep moving.
Today it's been rough. It's getting hot, so I'm glad to start finishing up quick. It started off, it was like 70 degrees when you guys got here, now it's almost 100. I like on these ones, the tools that I use. I'd use them a lot, and I would hit the button and it would go reverse and forward and reverse and forward. This one's like, I can hit the button a little bit and it won't even phase it.
Yeah. we kind of use that. We use like every one of the 120 XP ratchets on this job today.
Yeah.
Every single one, and then we were using majority of like 3/8 drive, but we used a little bit of 1/4 inch drive, and we Allen keys, both of the ratchets that come in this kit, and a couple of the ratcheting wrenches. Super thankful we had all this here because it made this job pretty easy.
Yeah, especially with this hand line.
Oh yeah, and that little stubby in there. Yeah, we even used the spark. It comes with a 5/8 spark plug socket with magnetics. We're using that as well. Lots of things came in handy today.
That's super cool because I've never had a spark plug socket that actually removed the spark plug with it. I always have to pick it up. Yeah. I mean, it has those little rubber isolators, but that magnetic part helps out a lot.
Yep. All right. Well, we got the cams back in. We got to tighten them down, then put some RTV around the corners, and then maybe a little RTV on his covers, valve covers, and then we'll put that back on, then we can do the timing. And like, just layed it down or whatever if you had to make your own tool, but then instead they just, next up we're gonna put some RTV on these front caps so we don't get any little leaking on the corners here. Next we would put that back plate on the head that goes behind the cam gears. then we could torque down cam gears on there. We gotta torque those down, then put these covers on, then do the timing belt. Then there's a couple other miscellaneous things like these covers and some front cover stuff and the radiator, and then see if we can start it. That'll be cool. We're pretty serious here, you know? We're just focused trying to complete a job that was like maybe a little too big for one day. Typically we don't use red because we don't like the color red. We like black and gray and blue. No. Alright, so they're ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. It's a tight squeeze in here. You're gonna need this for one of them as well.
Yeah, thank you. I was just telling him to go there.
10 mil ratcheting wrench.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just goes heavy. That's good.
Supposed to be all the way to the left, right?
Well, it won't matter until we tighten it, and then we like put the belt on, and we point this. Okay, if you didn't have these exposed and you couldn't see where they were, and you had it, then you could probably do that the wrong way. But like if we're looking at this, we can make it the right way. So this cam, I can't get it to like rotate where we're at TDC yet. So I want you to start tightening it a little bit, and then I'll stop it where we want it.
Is it at TVC first?
No, we're not going to do it down there right now because we want the pistons out of our way in case me and you mess up. We can't bend the valve.
Smart.
But look what I brought. This is out of my own personal collection. The flexible 3/8 extension, 3/8 drive extension. It's pretty amazing. You guys would like it if you had one. So, we gotta reinstall this tensioner and the timing belt. It's in quite the spot with the can't be from underneath the car. You're leaning over, it's not the easiest to do. We're getting close, guys. Still don't have a radiator though. So we're on to wiring, plugging in sensors. We already did all the timing. Everything's back together. This is both of our first times working on one of these motors, so I hope we did it right. Looks like we kind of got it all back together, finishing touches right now. Coolant hoses, clamps, and that's about it. And then we're gonna start it back up. We did it!
It's full.
Yes!
Got it. Thank you so much.
Completed it. That was a lot of work, but it's done. Now we gotta start it up.
This is just amazing. Like, this whole thing is to help me go to the junkyard, help everybody that comes over that needs help, when I need to go to the track, like I can just take this box and it'll be perfect. Like if I break down on the track, I'll have everything I need. Plus all the speaker, like I'm super stoked on the speaker. And yeah, it's gonna make everything so much easier to work on stuff because I'll have everything, all the right tools, and I won't have to look for it. It's handy, I can take it anywhere.
One of the best parts about that box. I wanted to say, guys, this has been a really fun experience for me to come to Andrew's garage and work on his car with him. We still have one more stop to make that we've already announced the winner, but there's still one winner left. So I want you guys to see this experience that I had with Andrew and know that it could happen to you guys. So let's see those submission videos, because this could be you that I'm stopping at your house, your garage, your driveway, and work on your project with you.
I still can't believe it, it's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So should we start it up?
Yeah, we should.
Alright, let's start it. We did it, the job is done, it's all complete, and Andrew's happy.
Yeah, super stoked. The car is one step closer to being back on the track so I can make memories with my friends, enjoy it, and just have a good time.
Gear Wrench is rad!